it's like saying goodbye to like a toxic ex.
Yeah.
You know, of like, I deserve more and I want more, and you just got to cut the ties.
Yeah.
And then like new doors will open. But my overarching why was just to like honestly put myself first. I think that I've always like been a yes person for, you know, family trips, group trips, like going with everyone else, the flow of everyone
Whatever they
else.
want, cool, like I'm down.
So this time I was like, I've been wanting to do something solo, and I think I just got to pull the trigger.
Okay, so you're in Bali. Wondering if you're gonna get lonely. You said you did get lonely a couple times. You wanted to like share this moment with somebody.
Yeah.
But like, how was it for you to experience that moment by yourself?
It was honestly like I would think that I would take myself back from like my ego talking and being like, I wish I could share this moment with someone, or reach out to somebody and show him like, look where I am, why aren't you so proud of me? And then I would resort back to myself saying, look at what I've done for myself. Like, I'm all about balance nowadays.
Goes to Bali once, all of a sudden I'm about balance now, guys.
No, you're gonna die. I got a tattoo.
Yes! The name's John Mack, pro fighter, published author, public speaker. And for the last few years, I've been living life in a van. Meet Appa, my Japanese-inspired tea house on wheels. Welcome in. Coffee, tea, whiskey. That's how it begins. My podcast. The one where we sit and talk about life. Thoughts, stories, human things. You know human things. The things that make us human. If that's your cup of tea, then welcome in. Drinks on me. What up, y'all? Happy Monday. I know you're expecting us to walk through that door behind me, which me and my guest, Jenna, will be walking through that door shortly here, but I figured I'd pop in and give another one of these little disclaimer videos because we're just at the tail end of the season, and if you watched last episode, then you kind of already know what you're getting yourself into because, yeah, I basically recorded today's episode that you're watching, as well as the season finale now. I guess it wasn't originally the season finale. Last episode, Jordan Barker was supposed to be the season finale, but because I had some issues with the following two episodes, I had to kind of move things around while I troubleshooted and figured it out. I even drove down to San Diego. I was in the Bay Area. I drove down to San Diego on Thursday to meet up with Shane, who you guys will meet in the next episode, who's been kind of like my ace, helping me with this project. But yeah, so I was just kind of really struggling, you know, to be honest with you guys. I was like really frustrated dealing with these shots, the two-shot. We call it two-shot, which I just learned recently from Shane. Thank you, Shane. But the two-shot is basically the shot where there's two people in the shot. And on that camera, this camera, the center camera, not the host camera or the guest camera that you guys would see on the corner pockets, but I recorded in the wrong frame rate, 240 frames per second instead of 24, which means I pretty much just recorded it in slow-mo. So the footage came out super dark and murky and just like, I mean, it was in slow-mo. So Shane helped me convert it, but I was still having issues when I was editing it back home. And all of a sudden, it felt like that video was just constantly, or that camera was constantly just buffering. Like I was rocking like some old school dial-up 56K connection instead of, 5G or whatever the hell we're on right now. Anyways, I in full transparency, there was a part of me who was just almost thinking about scrapping Jenna's episode and Shane's episode because I just couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out on my own, and I was just really frustrated. And I almost looked at it like, all right, man, you filmed 12 episodes. Like, it's okay if you don't turn in 2. Kind of like if I was taking an English class and we had like 12 essays to do and I only turned in 10, it's like, fuck it, you're not going to get an A. And I'm sure this will disappoint all the Asian people for not getting an A and doing all your work. Asian trauma, man. But I decided to put my head down and kind of still go through and still produce something, even if it's not perfect, because the essence of John Mack's Tea House, which if you've watched any of the episodes, is to embrace the imperfections, because that truly is what life is. And so the next few episodes that you're going to watch, today's episode, as well as next week's episode, is going to be a little bit imperfect, and that's okay because we're imperfect and I'm imperfect. And there's a beautiful word that I want to leave you guys, which was a huge inspiration for this project, and that's wabi sabi. I've talked about this in a few of the episodes, so I'll recommend it again. There's a few books I've read on wabi sabi, but my favorite one is by Beth Kempton. If you are interested, I highly suggest that read. But wabi sabi is the discovery of beauty and imperfection. It's to embrace the natural cycle of life and death, to see the marks on the counter from me living in here for 3 years, or the blemishes or the scars that I have, and they're kind of just like marks of time. You know, nothing is perfect, nothing is in a vacuum. And so I'm happy to have these 2 episodes that I shot in 240 frames per second, because it adds to the character and charm of what John Max Teahouse is trying to share. And that's just life as it is, you know, and doing the best with what we have, and showing up anyways. And so, you know, to be honest, there's a part of me, like I said, that I kind of thought about scrapping it. I just wanted to give up. I was so defeated, and it was at the end of the season. It was at the, 2 episodes left, and I'm like, fuck, is it just going to be over? Like, I've just been tooth and nail, crawling through the valley of editing, not having any experience in multicam editing or podcasting or this long form content. Like, editing freaking videos that are over an hour long is fucking gnarly, especially when you're a white belt, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely gonna be making some shifts as I go into season 2. Spoiler alert, season 2 is already filmed, but I will be taking a break between season 1 and season 2 just to kind of reorient, give myself some space, giving myself some space, and not kind of giving into this hustle culture that we always have to do everything all the time. And even holding space for myself now. Like, this episode was supposed to come out last night on Sunday at 6 o'clock because that's when these episodes air. But I was at a family reunion yesterday, and I just didn't have the time, and I was just overwhelmed and tired and exhausted. So I got up this morning and I finished filming the episode. I just had breakfast with my cousin, Papu and Di. What's up, Papu and Di, if you guys are watching this? Yeah, and now I'm filming this, and I'm going to go put this in front of the video and upload it, and then I'm actually about to jump on a cruise to Mexico with my family for a family reunion. I think there's like 60 of us going. There was actually over 150 of us at the park yesterday, and that's not even like half of our family. We're such a huge family. Anyways, I've gone on a jaunt that has nothing to do with this episode, but I guess it still has to do with life and showing up to life and being okay with missing deadlines and not killing ourselves over it. Yeah. So, all that being said, I have a wonderful episode to share with you guys right now. The beautiful Jenna Hollander. And then a following episode to end season 1, which is Shane Agoon. And I actually don't even know if I'm pronouncing his last name right. My bad, Shane, if I fucked that up, bro. Anyways, yeah, with no further ado, today's episode. Jenna, enjoy. Welcome in.
Thank you.
Everybody, this is Jenna. Jenna, everybody. Can I get you something to drink? Coffee, tea,
I think I'll
whiskey?
get some coffee, please.
Coffee? Okay.
No whiskey yet.
No whiskey yet. It's okay. I'm gonna light this up. I might get a little bit hot in here since I'm gonna light this kettle, but you're no stranger to the heat since you just got back from fucking Bali.
Yeah.
How many days has it been since you've been back?
Oh, like 5 maybe?
5 days?
4?
Are you here yet in the States, or is your mind and heart still in Bali, or what?
Mind and heart's definitely still in Bali. Yeah, you could say that again. But today's my first day back at work, so we'll see how it goes.
Okay. How many days were you there?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
2 weeks.
2 full weeks. It was my first solo adventure.
Ooh,
which was pretty.
I definitely want to be getting into that in a minute.
Yeah, that was
first
pretty
solo
big.
adventure. But is it your first time out of the country?
No.
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so you had international travel before.
Yeah,
but this is your first.
And I did go to Thailand before.
Okay.
Which I think helped with my nerves, at least.
Sure.
With going solo to Bali, because it's kind of the same culture. Way different, obviously, but at least I had some sort of experience in Southeast Asia. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like a complete shock. Like, you kind of knew what you're getting yourself into.
Exactly. But yeah, I've done Canada, Peru, Honduras, some parts of Europe. So kind of all over.
That's cool. What parts of Europe?
Lived in Barcelona for 3 months.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I did
we talk about that later for
internship.
sure.
I did an internship abroad.
Oh, that's fucking rad.
Internship abroad for 3 months in Barcelona, and I actually lived with a friend named Yamina, who's Australian, and I actually just saw her in Bali.
Oh, how cool is fucking that?
Just by fate, and which was so comforting to know, like, hey, at least I have somebody.
Wait, how did you guys know that you were both going to be there? Like, did she pop into your story or something?
Yeah, so
or
I
like...
posted on my story and I said, first solo trip in the books. And she swiped up and was like, where are you going? I said, Bali. She goes, oh my God, when? And we just happened to be going at the same time.
Oh, that's so fucking cool.
And I haven't seen her since 2019 when we met in Barcelona.
Wow, 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah, post-COVID, lots has changed.
Lots has changed. We live in a different world right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't say that again.
Okay, so first solo trip to Bali. I mean, first solo trip.
Yeah.
What was the fears? Obviously, you conquered the fears because you went and did it. But what are the things that like go through your mind when it's like, oh shit, girl, you're about to fucking go to Bali by yourself?
Yeah.
Like, talk to me about the dialogue that was going on.
Honestly,
in your head.
I'm kind of good with like turning off the negative dialogue in my brain. Like if I'm thinking about something that's like stressing me out, I'll be like, let's think about something else, you know?
Yeah.
But if anything, I think it was more so like the what ifs and like the currency and what if I get lost or what if I don't have cell service or something like that.
Yeah.
But then once I got there, I realized that nothing was that difficult, you know? Like once I was immersed there and like I was talking to the people, everyone was so helpful. The currency was very easy. And the apps also help. So yeah, I think once I was there, everything just like settled.
Yeah.
But it was, I think, the nerves of those small things, and also like as my first solo trip, I was like, am I going to be lonely? You know?
Yeah, like, am I going to have friends to do stuff with? Or am I going to be doing everything by myself?
Yeah.
Or...
Like, I didn't want to sit there in Bali and be like, oh, I wish I had somebody here.
Yeah.
You know? And I honestly, like, maybe once or twice, that was like, maybe I could share this experience with, but I was like, honestly, I have the rest of my life for that.
Yes.
And this is so special being here alone, you know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to pause you for a second just because I'm going to grind these beans.
There you go.
And it would mess up the sound.
Better coffee anyway.
Yeah. Pardon the interruption, whoever's all watching, listening to this fucking coffee grinder ASMR. Those of you that are into that.
ASMR, it's so loud.
It's like, oh.
I think ASMR is supposed to be relaxing.
Yeah. We'll just whisper. So, how was Bali?
It was so good.
Okay, I'm gonna put these beans in here, and then I'm gonna come join you at the table while this water heats up.
Perfect.
And then we will continue where we're at.
I love that you have like an authentic way to make coffee in here.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love that. For me, it's become like a little bit of a ritual. Mm-hmm. I go through my steps. I do the grinding. I heat the water. I do the stuff, and then I usually go for a walk like afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of part of my like zen. You know what I mean? Like I'm not on my phone yet. Like you kind of get into the space. I eventually want to learn like tea stuff. Like if you were to ask for tea, like all I got is some like tea bags for you. Like it's not as fancy as like me doing this coffee.
Yeah.
But I would like to learn like the matcha and like all those things because I just feel like it'd be a cool little vibe for the podcast.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah,
season 2. I'll save that for season 2.
The little matcha whisk.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the bowl. Heck yeah.
I love matcha, but my roommate actually works at Starbucks, and she'll bring home Starbucks matcha, but there's so much sugar in that matcha that I'm like, I'm scared it's not real.
Yeah.
I'm scared to drink it. So yeah, I want to get the authentic stuff and make it at home, but.
Yeah. All right. While that's heating up, we can continue on. Okay, so you're in Bali. Wondering if you're gonna get lonely. You said you did get lonely a couple times. You wanted to like share this moment with somebody.
Yeah.
But like, how was it for you to experience that moment by yourself?
It was honestly like I think that I would take myself back from like my ego talking and being like, I wish I could share this moment with someone or reach out to somebody and show him like, look where I am, why aren't you so proud of me? And then I would resort back to myself saying, look at what I've done for myself. Like, look where I brought myself. 2 years ago, I literally had a whole stress rash, broke out in hives from being like financially stressed.
Yeah.
And then fast forward 2 years, and I am treating myself because I deserve it this year.
Winning.
Yeah.
Winning. Yes, you fucking deserve it.
So yeah, I kept going back to like, look at what I was able to achieve this year for myself.
Like having pride in yourself. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you've grown so much. Like, you showed up for yourself. Like, you sent it. You know what I mean? Like, despite the fears, despite where you were at 2 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
I'm fucking here. I did this.
Yeah,
I did this.
definitely many moments of like being proud of myself.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What were all the cities that you went to? Right? 2-week trip.
Yeah. Did 4 cities. Started in Canggu.
Okay.
I was there for like 3 days, and I went to Ubud, and that's like the yoga wellness hub.
Yep.
So I was there for 5 days, and then I went to Uluwatu, which is like the south part of Bali, which has like the best beaches. And then I ended on Nusa Lembongan,
Okay.
which is an island off of Bali. And we'll get into a funny story there, but it's off of Bali, so it's not the mainland.
I've been to the island. I've been to the island. Yeah.
But yeah,
Almost.
4 areas, 2 weeks, and it was not enough time. I need more.
It's never enough time.
No.
Right? Traveling, like, is never enough time.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, there's too much to do. There's too much to see. There's too much to experience.
Yeah, like you get comfortable for like 3 days, and you're like, "Fuck, I gotta move."
Yeah.
It sucks.
You're like, I'm just getting settled here,
Yeah.
guys. Like, now I have to go back. Like, I'm actually cool with this lifestyle. I'll just fucking kick it for a minute.
Yeah. Next time.
When you planned this, did you, like, what was your vibe? Did you stay at hotels? Did you do Airbnbs? Did you do hostels? Like, what was your, obviously being a solo traveler and a female, you have to be a little bit more mindful of those things.
Yeah.
Like, what were the decisions that you made for that?
Yeah, so I kind of wanted like to treat myself on this trip, like I said.
Fuck yeah.
So I've done hostels. I'm not opposed to them.
Uh-huh.
They're fine, but I just honestly like going to hostels is kind of like, let's meet people, let's go out, let's get drinks, let's have a good time. And I kind of went as like the wellness route instead, like the reset route. I didn't really want to go out and party and be hungover and do that. Like I do that enough here sometimes. So. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so yeah, I kind of wanted to like wake up in the morning, go to yoga, do meditation, do my breath work, have a massage, like do all of that. So instead of going to hostels and meeting people, and I couldn't do Airbnbs because usually it was like a whole villa, and I'm not going to go and like cook every meal and be in this entire villa by myself.
Right.
So I did do hotels, which was great because a lot of them were inclusive had breakfast inclusive.
Oh, that's nice.
So I'd wake up, have breakfast, go on a little walk, do whatever. And I actually stayed in one hotel where I was the only guest.
Really?
So it was like I had the whole...
Damn, just, okay, rent out this whole hotel for yourself?
Yeah, it was, I felt so like what's the word? Like royalty.
Yeah. Like, this is my whole place. Everybody's here to cater to me.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm happy with my decisions.
I love that. You were talking about like going there and like doing yoga, and you pretty much did yoga in Ubud, right?
Mm-hmm. I did it in Ubud and Canggu. I didn't do it as much as I wanted to, honestly, because there's so much to do there it's hard to pick and choose. But I did do like so I did a wellness package at that hotel where I was the only guest.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, I had 2 one-on-one yoga sessions, 2 one-on-one meditation sessions.
Oh, wow.
Or a Thai massage, which are pretty intense.
They are.
You've had.
Yeah, they're like all upon you.
Yeah,
Cool.
they're like stretching. It's not a massage. Anyway, and then a facial, which was really nice. But yeah, the one-on-one yoga session was really special because their studio was outside in the middle of the jungle, made of all bamboo.
Is that the one where you had a picture where you're like doing whatever you were doing? You just posted?
That one was in Yoga Barn in the heart of Ubud.
Uh-huh.
The other one, I'll show you the frog pose. That one was in the hotel.
Oh, talking about the bamboo spot?
Yeah. Not very good service in here, do you?
No, because we're in a metal box.
That'll do
So-
this one.
Okay.
I'll show the fans.
There you go. There you go. We'll toss the actual photo on the B-roll.
There you
for those
go.
of you watching on YouTube.
But yeah, that was really special, and just very like serene, you know.
So what was special about that? Obviously, like it's a one-on-one, but like, let's just talk about, you know, highlighting that one individual experience. Like, what was your biggest takeaway from that?
It was just being in a different environment. Like, we're so used to going to the studios here filled to the brim with people literally like dripping sweat on you, which I've had happen before. It's disgusting. To going to a place in the middle of the remote jungle in Bali, looking out at other villas and just being like, oh my God, am I real? Is this real? Pinch me, you know?
Yeah. Just all of it. You're just like in this.
Yeah. And again, just being alone and just being like, oh my gosh, like this is such a cool experience, which people don't get very
I don't get
often.
that. Yeah. Yeah. Send it. Anybody out there thinking about solo traveling?
This is your sign.
This is your sign. Go. So, like, what's next? Like, are you looking to travel? I mean, we were just talking last night, and you're like, I could totally just like move to Bali.
I know.
Like, what's that about?
I could see myself traveling, yes, and doing your whole world tour that you did. But I definitely have like a blockage of like, I'm a realtor, I sell houses, and this year I finally, like my business is finally picking up, and I started in one of the worst economies when the rates were like damn near 8%. Took me 10 months to get my first deal. I worked my ass off. And then I'm like finally making a few sales, and I'm like, actually, I'm gonna go travel the world. You know, so there's like
that tug, that pull.
Yeah.
Do I stay and do what I'm doing? I've gained a momentum in my career, like after all this work.
And I've worked so hard to get to where I am. But I used to tell myself, like, work really, really hard up until you're like 30. I'm 26 now. I started real estate when I was 22, but I didn't start selling up until like maybe 2 years ago. And I was like, work really hard up until you're 30, and then you can take like 6 months off. And that's always kind of been my game plan.
Is that still the game plan, or has this trip to Bali changed that game plan?
I think it kind of has changed it a little bit.
Okay.
Only because like we are young, and I don't want to keep pushing that game plan back, you know, more and more and more.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I think you should do it. I think you should go.
I know you think that.
I'm all about sending it. But also a reminder to even, you know, we have this mentality, especially, you know, being in our 20s. Well, not me. I'm not in my 20s anymore. Damn near fucking 40 years old. But the idea of like, when I went to Spain by myself, I was 37. It was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
22. Yeah, I was 37 when I did my first international solo trip, and I've done a lot of international travel, and so it's like you can do things later in life. Like you think that it's gonna go this way, and we have these plans.
Yeah.
We have these plans of like I want this by this, and you know even in that there might be a plan for a partner or not a partner by 30. I don't know like what your plan is with that, but we have these plans thinking life is gonna go a certain way. But then you go on trips or you have experiences where like all of a sudden that plan now changes.
Yeah.
And like everything can change.
Yeah.
And you can always come back to this. Like all the things you can always come back.
Totally.
You know, like this is the second time I'm living in San Diego, and it's like I come back and a lot of the storyline is the same. You know, the martial arts, the this, the that. And so it's like you can always come back and, you know, be a kick-ass realtor, you know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm just gonna go move to Bali forever. You can just be like, I'm gonna do my 6 months right now.
Yeah.
Like mama's got some money, and like I'm just gonna go see what happens.
I know.
Let's go run this for 6 months. I'll be back. It ain't like you're gonna forget how to sell houses.
That's fair. That's true. Yeah, we'll see. I got some pondering to do, but no rash decisions yet,
Yeah.
at least.
I mean, you've only been back for 5 days. You got plenty of time to think
that's
about
true.
that. Right? Like even like, oh, you coming to a decision now? It's not like you're moving to Bali next month.
I know. Sorry, roommates. You gotta find a subleaser.
Would it be Bali? Would it be somewhere else? You talk about traveling the world. Would this, okay, say 6 months. Let's talk about 6 months. Whether this happens to be next year or whether this happens to be when you're 30. You're going to give yourself 6 months to travel. This original game plan,
Yeah.
right? Before I ask you that question, actually. I usually have my coffee black. I have, I think, oat milk and maybe some honey if you want in yours.
Just a little oat milk.
Just a little oat milk?
Yeah.
And then do you want the white mug or the black mug?
Let's do the black one so then we can balance each other out.
Oh, okay, I see that. I'm with that.
I'm all about balance nowadays.
Goes to Bali once. All of a sudden, I'm about balance now, guys.
No, you're gonna die. I got a tattoo.
Yes! Yes, let's see this tattoo. Where is this tattoo? Or is it not a showable tattoo?
It's still healing.
I see that.
But I thought of it.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So the equal sign is to represent balance.
Okay.
Yin and yang, good,
Yeah.
evil.
I'm all about that.
And then the line, the singular line is to represent me. As a reminder to just have balance.
Tell me when.
When? It's hard to tell because I like it like a certain color, you know?
Yeah.
I hate when you pay for like a $7 coffee, $6 coffee, and you're like, it's not the right color. I can't drink it.
First world problems. As you just
I'm
got.
totally
I know,
kidding.
I know. Taste that. Let me know if you want more.
Thank you, darling.
Actually, take that first.
That might be a little
I'm
warm.
gonna wipe this coaster. It could be.
Wait, it's gonna be hot.
I'm such a boy. I literally just, it was a little bit wet right here, and instead of like wiping with a towel, I literally just went like this. Like,
That's okay.
it's like I'm in second grade still.
I'll do that too if I have sweatpants on. That's okay, I'll just put it down.
Okay. Well, once it cools down, taste it. If you want more oat milk afterwards,
It'll be good, I'm not
we'll just
picky.
add.
I was drinking black in Bali anyways. Did you know that they make coffee out of animal poop?
All coffee?
Their Balinese coffee?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How is it? Is it delicious?
It's heavy. Like it's really coffee. But ours is just not good coffee here, so.
Yeah. Cheers. This
Cheers.
coffee is from the Bay. Well, I bought it here, but
Nice. What part though?
Phil's Coffee. You know Phil's Coffee.
How did you just sip that? It's so hot.
Because I'm a dragon. I breathe fire.
I do know Phil's coffee.
Yeah, it's Phil's Coffee. Filtered Soul is the blend. Medium blend. Caramel, hazelnut, and maple.
So you're a coffee connoisseur.
Just a little bit. When I lived in Costa Rica is what made me a coffee snob.
Yeah.
Like I feel like honestly before I would just, when I first got into coffee, it was like, oh, just give me the sweet stuff. You're like, oh, I'll take a white mocha from Starbucks. It's like
Yeah.
really just liquid dessert. It wasn't even like coffee.
Yeah, just sugar.
Yeah, and then like when I was working there, like it was really good coffee. You know, the director was married to this American dude who was part of Brit Coffee, which is like one of the biggest gourmet coffees in Central America.
Wow.
And that was just our coffee in the like lounge or in the teacher's room. So like when I was drinking that every day and you start to just have like the best coffee,
Yeah.
after that I'm like, I can't fuck with all the
You
other
can't
shit.
go back.
I mean, I can. Like, say if I'm on a road trip and I'm like leaving super early and I just grab some like fast food and I'll have like a, you know, all McDonald's freaking coffee. It's obviously not the best coffee. I'm not going to be a snob and be like, no, never will I drink that. You know, like, fuck, if that's all I got, that's all I got.
I honestly don't even know like good coffee from bad coffee. I just drink it for energy.
Yeah.
Call it a day. I just don't want to crash.
Okay, so back to the question.
Yeah.
6 months. Yeah, it feels good on your lower back, right?
Yeah.
Please feel free to make yourself at home, move pillows around, whatever you need to do. Yep. You have 6 months. Whether this happens to be next year when you are 27 or 3 years later when you turn 30. What does that 6 months look like to you?
Like backpacking.
Backpacking?
Yeah. Moving around. And doing maybe like 1 month per destination. So I think that's enough time for one place. But if I need less or I need more, I can take that. But yeah, I already did the living in one destination, which was amazing in Barcelona. But
Which I want to cycle back to and talk about that, but
Yeah.
answer this question first.
But yeah, I think just moving around and seeing different cities for whatever time period you feel like it was enough is a better way to go about traveling. You know?
I'm going to pause you real quick. I don't know, because I'm obviously making this up on the podcast. Do you think your hair is messing up that audio at all? That
It
thing?
might be. Was it
You
touching?
you can put your hair back. I'm just going to put this more close to the center. And then you can put your hair back down, just because I don't know, like, if when it's on top of it, if it's affecting.
It might be.
I don't know. I hope the audio was good. We'll figure it out in post.
Uh-oh.
Okay, 6 months, and you would want to do 1 month in each destination.
Something like that.
So
Yeah.
so then that means you would have a top 6.
Yeah.
What's your top 6 countries?
Honestly, that depends on my financial status, I think.
Okay, let's clear the financial status.
Okay.
Let's just, as if like we're already living in a fantasy world, right? Talking
Yeah.
about this 6-month travel, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If money isn't a factor, what are your top 6? Like, where do you want to go?
That is a good question. Right now, I would say back to Southeast Asia.
Okay.
And like finish the tour, because I did Thailand, but I did not have enough time there. Bali also did not have enough time there. Japan is on my list to go.
I love Japan so much.
You've been.
I've been twice. Yeah. Twice, and then one like a 12-hour layover. It was when I was like traveling with my partner before, and we like we would schedule things like that in our trips. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we have a layover there. Like, let's take the longest layover. Oh shoot, we have like 13 hours in Japan. Then we can pop out.
Yeah.
So I've been there twice, 2-week trips, and then like just a day.
A layover, yeah.
Yeah, layover. I would love to live in Japan. For
Do
a time.
you ski or snowboard?
I used to snowboard a lot when I was in my early and mid 20s. I don't snowboard as much. I still have my board. I still have all my gear.
Did you go in Japan?
I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I went in the spring. I guess I could have caught some snow at the end. I would like to experience Japan in all the different seasons. Like the first trip I went was this summer.
I heard spring though is the best.
And I did all. Yeah. It is if you get there on the right time. I was there a little early in my trip because just talk about you can have a plan, but you don't control the things, right? The first trip I went, it was a summer trip, and we did all the summer things with my friends. Hiked Mount Fuji, did things like that are like only summer activities. You can only hike during that time. And then when I went in the spring, just this year, I was trying to go to catch the cherry blossoms, and so I booked my flight based on like the forecast.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, the beginning of March, like this cold spell came to Japan, and so basically it pushed the bloom 2 weeks later. So literally it went into the 2-week bloom the day that we left. Oh gosh, it was heartbreaking. But
I guess you gotta go back.
Exactly. I guess I gotta go back. And I would love to live there. I would love to experience all the seasons. Like obviously, like I'm really influenced by Japanese culture. I have a Japanese tea house as the design of my house. You know what I mean? Yeah, Japan is awesome. But to go back to you, okay, you'd like to finish Southeast Asia, you'd like to go to Japan, what else?
Philippines. What else is over there?
There's a lot over there.
There's a bunch.
Singapore, Vietnam,
Yeah,
Laos,
Vietnam.
Cambodia.
Not Laos. Did you hear about all the...
No, I haven't heard about
Oh my god, when I was in Bali, there's 2 more travelers that got poisoned in Laos.
Really?
From free shots of alcohol that were like laced with it was made with methanol.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Isn't that so sad?
Yeah.
So hopefully they chill that out, but but yeah, that's probably where I'd want to go.
So you'd spend all of your 6 months in Asia? That's fucking rad.
And do some scuba diving too.
Philippines is supposed to have one of the best scuba diving in the world.
Same with Bali, but I didn't get it out there.
Yeah,
Philippines, though, yes.
I would also love to do scuba.
I was the only day that they don't require it over there. The only day that I was gonna go in Bali was gonna be the day before my flight, and then I was talking to somebody. They're like, "Aren't you not supposed to do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, thanks for letting me know," because I totally would have flown the next day, and all of the pressure. Oh my gosh.
You'd have been fucked.
Yeah, I don't even know what would happen, but nothing good.
Good thing you didn't do that.
Yeah, but I did snorkel, swim with manta rays, which is probably the coolest thing.
Oh my god, those fucking pictures of you swimming with manta rays were fucking epic.
So cool.
Holy shit.
But the photos don't even do it justice because they were.
Of course not.
It only shows at one at a time. There was like 6 swimming past you, always. The waters were a little dirty, I will say. There was like trash, a lot of trash, which is ironic because the manta rays go to clean themselves there. But it was unreal. It was another like pinch me. Is this real moment?
How big are those things?
They're the biggest fish on the planet.
How big? Like when you're in there, like
It's probably as wide as this.
oh, that's fucking crazy.
It's probably as wide as Ruban. Maybe even longer. Should I show you a photo?
Yeah, let's see a photo.
Like it doesn't do it justice, but
Yeah, it's wild though. Look at that thing. How amazing.
and their mouths are completely open. That's too far back. It's so cool.
That is so cool.
Second coolest underwater experience I've had.
What was the first?
The shark bite.
The shark bite.
That's not the coolest, but somebody got bit by a shark on my shark dive.
What?
And you never heard about this?
No.
Oh my gosh. It was actually 3 years ago from that day I went snorkeling with the manta rays. But my friend Neil, well, let me just backtrack a little bit more. We were in Honduras for Thanksgiving of 2021, me, my mom, my sister.
Okay.
We were scuba diving, and we had a friend named Neil who we invited to go on this dive with because it was Thanksgiving and he was traveling alone. So he comes on this dive. It's supposed to be 45 minutes. We're down there for maybe like 7. And it's with sharks, obviously. So we're swimming around with the sharks. They seem very like calm and cool, collected. Like they do it every single day, 3 times a day for the last 10 years, let's say. So we're down there. The dive master calls us up. We get up there. I'm like, what the hell? Why are we already done with the dive? My mom says, oh, somebody got bit. I go, by what? An eel? She goes, no, by a shark. I'm like, no, they didn't. And like, who? Are they lying? There's liars out there. So Neil was wrapped up in a towel. He goes to the hospital. The dive master gets on the phone with the doctor and was like, oh yeah, it was an eel. I was like, yeah, I told you it was an eel. No, it was a shark. So we ended up going back down and finishing the dive in like blood infested waters, essentially.
Wow. Okay. That's not.
Yeah, not safe, but I don't know if they like didn't want us to sue or something. But it ended up just being my sister, my mom, and I because everyone else left. So we were surrounded by these Caribbean white tip reef
This is
sharks.
in Honduras? Oh
Honduras.
my God.
Probably like 10 of them.
What an amazing experience.
Oh, it was so cool. My sister and I, we always said that we wanted to do cave diving with sharks. But I mean, you can't beat that.
Yo, this is wild.
But I think what happened was he put his hand out.
Let's see if you guys can see this.
He put his hand out, and I think the shark like jolted really quickly, and it just nicked him. It wasn't like a ferocious bite.
Wait, so it was actually a shark, not an eel, but the dude is telling him it's. Oh fuck.
Yeah, it was a shark.
Fuck, that's definitely a shark. Holy
Yeah.
fuck. Part of my language, guys.
Swipe to the next one
if
is
you've been
all.
watching, I'd be cussing all the time.
Wait, where's the? Yeah, it's all fixed up.
Damn.
But it missed every nerve and every artery. Is there arteries in your?
I don't know. I should know that. I was a kines major.
That's okay.
Damn. Oh my god.
Gnarly, right?
Gnarly.
But like that was the coolest dive I think I'll probably ever do, and thankfully we were all safe. But yeah, manta rays was a close second. Cool experience. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I would love those experiences. I'm all about experiences now. I feel like at this point in life, you know, I realize like everything is temporary. Everything is always changing. Even me about to move home, right? Like it's like, oh, this experience is over. I can come back and have a very similar experience again. It's like also like there's some other experiences I want to do. Like let's just there's so much life. How you talk about you go to all these countries and you're like there's not enough time.
Yeah.
There's also like there's not enough time in life.
Yeah.
You know, to do all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely turning into more of. I've always been a yes person.
I don't know why that did that, but let's try and just turn that back on again.
Was that off? Did you
It just like turned off. Alright, that's recording. That's recording. Alright, it looks like everything is recording.
She's on.
She's on. I'll just keep looking every now and then, make sure everything is blinking red. You'll see like the 2 mics that are red there. Okay, we are back after some technical difficulties, which if you've been following, this is, I think you are episode 10.
Damn, already?
You're episode 10, yeah.
Shit.
I just fucking fully sent it. I was like,
Yay.
fuck it, let's do it. I was
Yeah,
like,
you did.
honestly, I was calling people and like scheduling podcasts and I didn't even have the equipment yet. Like it was still coming in the mail. I'm like, oh, I actually have to reschedule.
Dude, that's when you know, like, you're ready, is when you're that eager.
Yeah.
I had that experience the other day, but I've been getting back into jewelry making.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that at the bar.
Yeah, and I used to do it as a kid. And I would literally go door to door and, like, knock on doors and sell. I'd had a table at my sister's softball games.
See little Jenna walking around.
No, literally, and it was in a lunchbox, purple lunchbox with a handle.
Love
I
it.
like vividly remember. And I walked into a gem fair the other day, and I was like, oh my God, I'm a kid in a candy store right now. And I spent way too much money on beads, but it's fine. It's my new hobby.
It's fine.
When you're mid-20s, you need hobbies again. It's my hobby.
So wait, so did you buy any material then, since you're into beads? Like when you were in Bali, did you buy any stuff?
I did buy beads.
Oh, sick.
I randomly found a bead store.
Yeah.
And the guy was so cool. He was like, I make all these beads from scratch. So I got like 3 different strands of beads. And then we talked about the election, so that was interesting. But
okay, since we're back on Bali and we're kind of like back to kind of recenter where we were at in conversation. Yeah. There's obviously some energy, like you talk about the 6-month trip and everything is kind of like Asia and you kind of want to go back. So like, what was the draw? You could have gone anywhere in the world. Like, why Bali? Why this time? Why solo travel? Like, what was your why?
Yeah. Good question. Loaded question. I chose Bali because as a first timer solo traveler and being female, I knew that it was going to be safe. I knew that the currency obviously is in our favor over there, so that was going to be easier to handle also. But my overarching why was just to like honestly put myself first. I think that I've always like been a yes person for, you know, family trips, group trips, like going with everyone else, the flow of everyone
Whatever they
else.
want, cool, like I'm down.
So this time I was like, I've been wanting to do something solo, and I think I just got to pull the trigger before 2024 ends. I had one of probably the hardest years of my life so far. It won't be the hardest ever. But I had to say goodbye to like the 5 closest people in my life, all in July.
Wow.
So I booked this trip after my birthday, like late August, and then I went out in November. So it was a quick turnaround from when I booked it to
the decision of like, all right, we're going to do this and I'm just going to pull the trigger.
Yeah. It was just either kind of like it's not really now or never, but it's now to prove to myself in the 2024 to cap off the year and show myself like you can do this and you are deserving of this, you know. So, yeah.
So now that you've done it, you did it. You showed up for yourself. You put yourself first. You went on this solo trip. You did it by yourself. Like, how do you feel about yourself now?
Oh, I'm so proud of myself.
Oh, I love that.
I had a moment on the beach in Nusa Limbogan. I was just sitting there, and there was like 2 couples in front of me, and there was a group of girls next to me, and I was just sitting there with my 2-for-1 margaritas.
Don't forget that part, guys.
Because it was funny because it was like that couple, like their whole squad, and I was like, me and my squad. Anyway, so I had a few drinks, but I was sitting there and I literally was just like, I'm so happy and like proud of myself for going out and doing this. And like a lot of people do solo travel, but a lot of people don't also. And I easily could have like, with the whole turning point in July with those friends, I easily could have been like, oh, I'm so sad. And I, you know, like almost pity myself and like, what's wrong with me? And should I move back home? And like all these things were going through my head. And then I had a click that I was like, fuck no. Like that's not who I am. If anything, this is helping me grow into the person I need to be and want to be. Yeah. And then therefore I bought the ticket and everything feels so much different, you know? But just to touch on what happened in July, my 4 closest girlfriends that I kind of like moved down to San Diego, not like 4, but they were like my friend group down here.
Yeah, like when you came down, like I have a little village already. Type of thing.
I found out that they all were going to Europe without me as a group, and they planned it for months prior. And some other people in my circle like knew, but it wasn't their business to tell me. Right. Which I don't shame them for because I get it. But they went to Europe without me like a week after my birthday. So they missed my birthday for whatever reasons. And they kept being like, no, you know, it's not your fault. There's no ill intent. We just want to go as like the main group. And I was like, no, but there is some ill intent. And you guys hid it from me. You know, so it just didn't sit right with me. in the sense of like, I just deserve more, you know, and surround yourself with people that fill your cup just as much as you fill theirs.
Yep.
And it didn't feel like that at that point. And it didn't feel like that for a while,
Right.
you know, but this was a turning point that I was like, okay, that was the clarity I needed.
Yeah. Now I have to let this go.
Yeah.
In order for me to grow into the person that I want to be.
Exactly. It's like saying goodbye to a toxic ex.
Yeah.
You know, of like, I deserve more and I want more, and you just got to cut the ties.
Yeah.
And then like new doors will open.
New doors will open. It
You
is
know?
very, very hard to do that though.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. People in general struggle with letting go.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Or even once they do finally let go, there's this like, but I'm not ready to let go, or maybe this, and we kind of like leave this door open, and like,
Yeah.
you just have to let go.
Yeah.
And it sounds easy on the surface, but it is a difficult thing to do.
Totally.
It is a very difficult thing to do.
I kept the fifth person that I said goodbye to fully was my ex. I kept going back to, and so yeah, I would leave the door like a little bit open for him, but it was the same cycle over and over and over again. So this all happened at the same time, and I was going to therapy for, I don't know, 8-10 months beforehand, and she would give me all these tools and resources that really helped me with handling July.
Right.
But I finally cut ties with him, and then all of that stuff happened with the girls, and I think I was down for maybe a week, and then I had that switch of like letting go. I went on a run because I was like, I need to get my endorphins up.
Yeah.
Endorphins were up, but in the negative sense. I literally like just cried and let it out, and then got home, wrote in my journal, and the sentence that I wrote in my journal resonated with the chapter of my new book.
Oh,
That I was like,
I just felt chills on that. That's
Yeah.
the alignment that you almost like, as if like, I know you are in this low place, but like, I got you and you're doing the right thing. Like this kind of like reassurance
Yeah.
that you're in alignment. Talking about that line on your tattoo.
yeah,
Like,
the balance.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was a pivotal turning point for me. And honestly, ever since then, it just feels like I've been on a high, you know?
Yeah, you're so much lighter. There's
Yeah.
So much, the energy is so much more free. You're not holding on to these things. You've
Yeah.
accepted that you let go. You showed up for yourself. You went on this trip. It's like, talk about, this is one of the hardest years of your life to date, like you said earlier, but
Yeah.
like, look how you transformed it at the very end.
Yeah.
How you showed up for yourself at the very end. You know what I mean? How the finish of the year is like.
Exactly. And it used to happen to me, like, in different ways of like feeling like the plus one or left out or whatever. And I would always, you know, stick my tail beneath my legs and just accept it.
Yeah.
But after going to therapy and her teaching me, like, no, you do deserve more and you are worthy and have boundaries and know all the stuff. This time I was like, I could play along like it wasn't a big deal. And I could leave the door cracked a little bit longer for that ex, right? But that was showing myself like a sense of, you don't know what your worth is yet. You know, and like, you don't have boundaries, you don't have your full self-respect. So after that, I think that I made that switch of like, I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to go on this trip. I'm going to work my ass off. And yeah, I'm going to be really happy.
Yeah. And you look really happy.
Yeah.
And you feel very happy.
I've been so happy.
Yeah.
Maybe not the day after I came back from Bali. But
Really
besides
sad
that,
that day. Really sad that day. Like, oh fuck, I'm back here.
Dude, the Uber was like $55 to get
Gross.
to get to where my car was from the airport.
Oh,
horrible.
fuck.
The Ubers there were like 60 cents.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I mean, I remember being there and like, oh, you want to rent a scooter? It's like $5 for the day. Like, not even asking me for any paperwork. Like, here's the keys. Like,
Yeah.
be back by this.
Don't even have to fill up
Yeah.
up with gas when you return it.
You're
Amazing.
like, all right, cool. Let's rock.
That's the one thing I want to do here. So when I do go back to Southeast Asia, I could rent one myself. I was too timid to get my own bike. It's so chaotic down there.
It is a little chaotic. It is a little chaotic.
And they drive on the left,
yeah.
which is scary with the rules.
You'll adapt though.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll pick it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a fun experience, being able to like do that or moped around in different countries and stuff.
I was just on the back. It was fine.
Yeah. No, I saw the videos. It was still cool. It still looked like you're like, hey.
Yeah. I took a lot of those.
Yeah. No, it's super rad.
Yeah, my Leo ass is always recording myself.
Yeah.
Same with you though.
I do.
Differently, but same with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Leo energy for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Hence the 3 cameras that I have, Hello, ladies and gentlemen
everybody.
of the peoples of the intrusive net.
So what about you? If you had 6 months, where would you go?
Europe.
Yeah.
Europe. That's at least the energy that's showing up for me right now in this moment.
Yeah.
I actually was just on a podcast with Honey.
Okay.
Was that yesterday?
Yeah.
That was yesterday.
Yeah.
Honestly, all the days have been just so like this blur. Podcast this day, but like trying to get ready to leave. Like,
Yeah.
oh, people want to hang out. Like I'm just like in this chaos.
Busy.
So like all the days are blending. But I was telling her that at least now in my life of where I'm at, like I actually want to spend a good amount of time living in Europe in my 40s.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to live there for a couple years.
We touched on this yesterday. You've been, but you haven't lived.
Right. So I've been to Spain. That was my first solo trip.
Yep.
And there was always something about Spain that was kind of calling me. I think there's also a little bit of like my middle name is Monasterio, which is Spanish. Like there's like actually a crest for that name. We just happen to be the offshoot Filipinos. Someone came over to the Philippines and had a baby at some point. But I'd like to do Europe. I've done a lot of Asia. I could definitely see myself doing Asia again because I didn't finish all the things. Like I've
Right.
done Thailand, Bali, Singapore, Philippines. Guam is not necessarily Asia, but it's like on the way over there. It's still kind of the States, but like Chamorro culture is different culture. So like I've done that. I would like to do more, but I feel like Europe energy is showing up for me right now,
Yeah.
which could change. But I would like to do that in my 40s. I would love to live in Europe for a couple years. I feel like there's so many different cultures to explore. I mean, really everywhere in the world. It just so happens to be that Europe energy is what's showing up for me.
Yeah.
And then with Honey moving to Portugal, she was like, because I was telling her that for my 40th birthday, which is going to be in August, that I wanted to spend the whole month in Europe.
Yeah.
And then she was like, do it. Like, you're going to come see me.
She's gonna be there.
She's going to be there. She's moving there next week. She's moving to Portugal next week.
Stop.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
she's
really
moving to Portugal
sad.
next week.
I see her every week smoking her little cigarettes outside.
Yeah, she's great, isn't she?
She's the home girl.
Yeah, she's great.
Oh my god, so that's perfect.
Yeah,
You
so like
connect.
there's these things that are like how you talk about these alignment or these things falling into place. You're
Yeah.
like, okay, that's interesting. Like I'm already in the space of wanting to move to Europe, and now I have a friend who's like moving to Europe and saying like, yeah, come kick it. Like I'll help you, I'll host you.
And Portugal too.
Yeah, I've never been to Portugal. I would love to.
I heard some of the best food in the world is in Portugal.
Yeah.
I didn't go over there when I was living in Spain.
Okay, this is a perfect segue. Let's talk about living in Spain. So
Yeah.
you lived in Spain for how long?
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, 2019, summer of 2019. I went to Chico State, so they required a internship to graduate. And you could have done it like during your semester, during the summer there. But my best friend and I said, you know what? Let's go across seas and do something.
yes.
Do it over there. So we did, I think it was like a 2 month, maybe 2.5 month internship with a company called Stoke Travel.
Okay.
It was a travel accommodation company that helped people get to and from festivals, camping at festivals, all-inclusive food, drinks, tickets, stuff like that. So they do a lot of camping for like Oktoberfest, Running with the Bulls, San Vino, La Tomatina, like the
Okay.
biggest festivals
Yeah.
in the world. And if anyone knows how to party, it's the Spaniards. Oh my
I know. I found that out
God.
real quick. Like, holy shit.
Crazy.
Full send.
Full send.
Doesn't even start till like 10 o'clock at night, but it's like
No.
literally until the sun comes up.
Doesn't stop.
Every fucking day.
Every day. Like every day there's something. Oh my gosh. There's fireworks popping off every night. Crazy. But loved it. So yeah, we lived in, it was kind of like a hostel house,
Okay.
but for everyone that worked at Stoke Travel. So
Okay, that's a cool vibe.
We all lived together. We all worked together, and then we would go to the festivals together. So we became like a big fam by the end of the summer.
Oh, that's rad.
It was an unpaid internship, but that's totally fine.
But I mean, you're living in Spain.
I know.
Like, how old were you at the time? 2019, that's like
It was like
5 years ago?
19
You were
maybe?
19, 20?
No, I turned 21. I turned 21 in Barcelona.
Oh, that's great. I mean, you
Yeah.
could have already drank
I
not
know.
being 21, but that is cool that you had that experience,
Yeah,
right?
totally. But yeah, regardless, it was sick as fuck. But yeah, the festivals were so cool. One of my biggest regrets in life is that I didn't run with the Bulls.
You could still do it.
I could still do it if PETA doesn't shut them down soon. But yes, I could still do it. But granted, I was like really fucked up that day, so it's probably better that I didn't
Yeah,
do
don't
it.
run with the bulls if you're fucked up. 'Cause
I was like so.
girl, you're gonna be like that picture of your homie Neil with the freaking shark
With the
bite. You're
cut.
gonna have like this fucking horn through you. Like, oh, sorry, I was hungover and I tried to run with the bulls.
Oh my god. Yeah, next time. But yeah, that was a really cool experience. And then we would just do little weekend trips because we worked Monday through Friday. So we do weekend trips south of Barcelona, north of Barcelona. I did go to France for like 4 days.
Sick.
Went to Disneyland in Paris. That was really cool.
Nice.
And then a few weeks in Italy with my mom. She came out and visited me.
That's great.
Yeah. But I need to go back. That was the only time I've done Europe, which was a great chunk of time, but I didn't really explore as much as I'd like to.
Yeah,
so
because you were there for an intern trip, you're working, so it's like
Yes.
we're only exploring these 2 days on the weekend, so you can't like just
Yeah. I
be
couldn't
doing
get
what
up
you're
and
doing.
leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
So next time.
Next time. Do you ever see yourself living in another country?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
What are places that you'd like to live?
Oh,
Doesn't have to be in any order, but like it'd be nice to live in.
I think Italy would be high up there. Italy would be really cool. But I honestly don't know. Like, I think I would want to say a few places in Europe, but I need to go explore them more.
Same.
Like, even Italy, I did a few different areas in Italy, but I didn't visit where I'd want to live. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
Just-
not what your thought process was while you're there.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, knowing enough about Italy, it sounds like an amazing place to live, so.
Okay.
What about you? Where would you live? What's your top one?
Well, top one, not necessarily has to be next, but I would say Japan. I would love to
Yeah.
live in Japan for a little bit. I'm sure there's this affinity that I have with Japanese culture, like growing up as a martial artist and, that whole vibe. And then
Yeah.
like, just, again, like you see, like the Japanese culture has influenced me so much. So I'd love to live there. I would love to live there for a year because I want to experience all the seasons there.
Okay.
There's some places where I'd be down to just rock for a few months
Yeah.
or this and that. But I think Japan, I would want to at least live there for a year. Because I want to experience all the seasons. I would love to just kind of dive into there. I don't know if that's what's next for me because, like I said, like Europe energy is showing up for me right now. I kind of want to explore that vibe. But who knows? Maybe I go to Europe in August next year for this like 1 month trip.
Yeah.
And I could either A, fall more deeply in love with Europe and be like, yes, for sure, this is what's next. Or it's like, that was actually satisfying enough. Like maybe I'm going to go live here. Because like these things change you. Like you said, you had a mindset a few months ago. Like, let's even just say June. Let's even say like this kind of drama unfolding that happened in your life, which what I've realized now that you've kind of gone through this, like having to let go, it's like necessary ashes, like the phoenix that has to die. Like there's things that have to burn, there's things that have to let go for you to be reborn into your new self.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times when bad things happen to me now, I have this awareness because it's happened so many times, like the cycle, like we see it's autumn now and you see these leaves falling. Like I'll get into these cycles again, even like say when I went through the divorce and you're in it and it's painful. Like say you're getting a tattoo and you're in it and it's painful, but I have this awareness like on the other side, I know there's something already.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I have to go through this hell still and it sucks, but I'm aware that this is the cycle of life and how things kind of happen. So I don't know where my mind is going to be at. I can go on this trip to Europe in August and like I said, like be like, yes, this is my jam, or like, actually guys, I'm not coming fucking back right now. Or it could lead me somewhere else, and that's even why when I'm like leaving here at San Diego, I'm basically driving back up to the Bay tomorrow. And it's like, I know it's fucking, it hasn't hit me yet. It's not gonna hit me until like I'm literally like at home in my bed with this thing like, I guess we're home now, But like life is so temporary for me, and so there's all these things. Like I think even like talking about the divorce, like post-divorce, like this is what I thought that I wanted. Talking about having these plans, and that ended. I even had to question myself of like, okay, do you want to get remarried again? Do you want to have kids? And maybe the answer is yes, maybe the answer is no. But to at least allow myself to ask those questions and see what comes up.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean,
Even just thinking back to when that did happen. What year was that?
21. Yeah.
Like imagine that version of yourself at 21.
Yeah.
Where you were then. It's only been 3 years.
Yeah.
But you're probably a completely different person.
Completely different person. And it was, how you talked about, like, oh, I went through this thing in July, August, I booked a flight, and now in November, basically, you went to Bali, right? You just like, you know what, I'm going to show up for myself, and I'm just going to kind of send it. Very similar, like a very different situation, but the idea of going through something. So, like, I think the timeline was filed for divorce in February, moved to San Diego in May, bought this van in June, found a builder in July, and then was like waiting to move into the van, just full send. And like I've lived a completely different life being here, and I'm grateful for this I think it's like 3.5 years since I've been here.
Wow, nice.
Of all the things that I've been able to do. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I won a jiu-jitsu world title. I came out of retirement and had a fight. You know, this was a bucket list. You talk about things that I'll regret. It's like, oh, I wish I would have done that. It was like, I kind of almost unpacked a chapter in my 20s. And maybe that's kind of why I'm telling you, like, it's never too late to do things. And even Honey was talking about that yesterday, of it's never too late to do things, because she had this dream to open up this like pastry shop when she was like a teenager. And now she's going to Portugal to do that at 52 years old.
That's so
32
good.
years later, she's living out this dream that she had while she was living in France. And it's like, wow, it's never too late to do anything.
That's
you
awesome.
know? And so when I came back here, it was about holding space for myself, allowing myself the time to heal. Like, hey, John, like, you don't got to jump into a career or a relationship. Just live and breathe and exist and find yourself again. Go back to the things that you love.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was able to do that. And I became this different person where I know what I want, but I also don't know what I want.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with the not knowing, because things are always changing. The things that I want in this moment are not what I wanted 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So the things that I'm going to want in 5 years are maybe not what I want now. You know, and all I can do is like show up to the present moment and like really listen to the signs. You know, like how you talk about going on that run and you're, you know, crying, you're bawling your eyes out, which I'm sure felt so good, that
So
release,
good.
right? And then you're journaling and you're writing, and this first sentence matches up with this book, and you're like, okay, there's something here, I'm in alignment, and you're like trusting these things. I feel like I'm just so detached from what's going to happen with my life, when I'm going to die, if I'm going to get married, like what am I going to accomplish, like all these things. It's like, just be in the present moment. And like for me, the present moment is like this podcast is what's showing up for me.
Yeah, there
You
you
know,
go.
like, let's just do this and see where this takes me. And I'm gonna go home for surgery, and that's kind of just like where I'm at now. Like, I don't actually know what's gonna happen after. You know, I may come back to San Diego. I may just come right back to San Diego and do what I'm doing. Or, like I said, I may go visit Honey in August and be like, actually, guys, I'm fucking moving to Europe. You know, parking the van at my fucking parents' house, and I'm out. I'll see y'all. You know, podcast out there. Who knows what I'll be doing?
Yeah.
You know, it's such a weird feeling, because I feel like before we're always this plan. We're taught to do these things, right? You go to school, go to college. After college, get a job. After you get a job, now save up so you can buy a house. And like, we have this timeline that we create for ourselves, but like, life is totally not that.
Yeah.
It's like all over here and you're
And
over
you know
there.
what is crazy about that too is we just stress ourselves out more thinking that way. And like, that's how I was before July. And then all of those things happened, and I picked up hobbies and treating myself, putting myself first, knowing my self-worth, things like that.
Yeah.
That I've just completely changed my perspective on, like, just be. I think I've always looked up to you, because you've always been somebody that has been very good at being present, being grounded.
Thank you.
And I mean, you could just feel it, like it radiates off of you. When we used to work at Park and Rec together.
Shout out to Park and Rec.
Shout out. Bye, though.
Yeah.
No, yeah, love Park and Rec. But
Anyways, going back to being present and grounded
Yes.
and that whole vibe.
you've always been somebody I look up to about that, and I catch myself that I need to like hone in on it a little bit more, but giving myself like space that I'm trying. You
You're
know,
still growing. You're still
yeah,
growing.
and like it's not gonna happen overnight, but I do feel these little moments of alignment that I'm like that something is happening here, and
Yeah.
I do feel like I'm going in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know.
The signs are reflecting back, like you're on the right path, bro.
Yeah,
keep
like
going.
years ago, I was so stressed, and I was running, and like all day I was just in a rush, and now it's like it's Monday morning and we're sitting here having coffee at 11 a.m. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I've learned, talking about that, having coffee at 11 a.m. and just kind of chilling. One of the things that I've loved about van life is the luxury of a slow morning. I talked about making coffee, like the luxury of like, I actually don't have to be anywhere right now. Maybe
Yeah.
like when I'm in training camp or I'm doing something, I have to be at practice.
Right.
And I'm sure you felt that when you were staying at that one spot in Bali when you basically had breakfast, right? You don't have to think about when I get up, where am I going to eat? What am I doing? You're like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to have my slow morning and be here. And then I know when I'm ready to eat, there's going to be food here. And it's like, those small things in life are like, wow, like that's a luxury to have.
It just gives you a moment to just be like, oh, I don't have to stress.
Yeah. Man. That's probably still recording. I don't know what's up with this fucking guy.
Yeah, weird.
Um,
The main one too.
okay. All right, guys. what are we gonna do here? Are we gonna take another break and fucking cool this bitch off? I guess so, right?
Yeah.
Or do we just fucking wrap it up without that?
No, we can, I mean, you only cooled it for what, 5 minutes last time?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it again.
All right, we don't know what's going on with these GoPros, but we are gonna take another short break. We'll probably edit all this random shit out anyways, but I hope you guys have been enjoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck was that? I love that.
You don't know, I'm on camera.
Yeah, fuck yeah, Leo gang, that's what
Leo
it is,
energy,
that's why.
baby.
You can go ahead and turn that one off at the top for me, please. That's recording. And that's recording. Oh, I wonder if we should put this down. Whatever, it was up there the whole fucking time. It's alright. The audio is actually the most important anyways. Okay, everything is recording. Here's a little sound clap. Another sound clap. Okay, we are back for the third time's the charm. But we're gonna try to keep our conversations kind of concise because we don't know if these GoPros are gonna heat up again or what's going on. So, jumping back into the good stuff. Let's jump back to Bali because I feel like that's an easy, like, we forgot what we were talking about. We were literally trying to say, like, where do we end? And I don't know. Okay, so Bali, right? You go on this trip and it's this rebirth of you, right? You're letting go of friends. You're becoming a better version of yourself in terms of like how you show up for yourself, how you see yourself, how you talk to yourself, learning all these different things. So you go to Bali. What is your biggest takeaway from that experience?
I think I had a few. I actually wrote some down. I brought my journal with me. Of course.
Love that.
During my meditation, she asked me like what was my why in going there, and she actually was like, I think this is a new chapter in your book, a new, like, it's just starting fresh. So I think that was one of the bigger takeaways. I also went to a shaman, a healer, and he said that like I just got to stay focused and just do me. Like, people are always gonna be
right.
They're always gonna be there, but stay focused. You do you. Oh, he also told me to stop vaping. Well, he didn't tell me to stop vaping. He told me.
Did he know you were vaping? Did you reveal that, or he just fucking said it?
No, I'm sorry. He told me that I'm gonna have some sort of like lung issue. So my message there was stop vaping. Oh. He didn't actually verbalize that to me.
But basically what I took from it was, yeah, you said what my biggest takeaway is.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
So I haven't hit the vape since, which is great.
Nice. Good job. Good job.
Thank you. And then overall, just like be content with being alone and trust myself. And I wrote, and being fearless and almost always say yes. And then, of course, my tattoo was having balance.
Yeah.
Being balanced. So, quite a few.
Those are all great takeaways.
Yeah. I think it's just everything that I've always kind of known, but I haven't really truly been capturing.
Yeah.
You know?
And knowing something is one thing, like applying it and like living that is like a whole
different ball game.
You know, like
yeah.
Like say you could know that how do you be healthy is like exercise and diet, you know, but if you're not actually doing it, also doesn't matter that you know it. And so it's awesome for you to like know these things about yourself or how to show up for yourself and then actually do the things.
Yeah.
Actually do the things.
Making the changes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, definitely some loaded takeaways, but
yeah. Those are great takeaways.
Life-changing, nonetheless.
Okay, I do have another follow-up question for that, though. Because you
Okay.
talk about this being a new chapter for you. Mm-hmm. What do you want this chapter to look like?
I think just continue to put myself first. Stay focused, like the shaman told me to do. But also going and doing 2 weeks solo out there. I want more. So work hard so I can do it again for longer.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I think just really continue to put myself first.
Cheers to that.
And that's like what everyone needs to do.
That's what everybody needs to do.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. On that, if everybody like needs to do that and choose themselves first, which I agree with, you need to be able to choose yourself first. I mean, it goes back to the whole airplane analogy of the oxygen mask coming down. And even if it's your child, who you probably love more than anything in the world, you still have to take care of yourself first, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of them.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, if you don't have self-love, how can you really give love? You know, type of vibe. So
You gotta
like,
fill your cup first.
gotta fill your cup. And so in choosing yourself, you allow yourself to be seen, you know how to show up for yourself, then now it makes you able to show up for a relationship, or how to show up for your partner, or draw lines knowing that, okay, that's not what I want.
Yep.
So on that, in terms of like everybody should choose themselves first, is there anything else you want to leave the people that have been so kindly watching our video?
I think just with that, put yourself first. And now is the moment. Just do it. Whatever you want to do, whatever your heart's telling you to do it.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Johnny. I love that you do the little tap.
Yeah, being at the bar, it's actually
Force of habit.
Yeah, force of habit. I was actually thinking about that when I did. I'm like, bro, you're just drinking coffee. Like, relax.
No, it's a shot.
Yeah. Cool. That was episode 10 with the beautiful Jenna. Later, guys.
Bye, guys.
All right, we just finished episode 10. It's beautiful, Jenna. We are here in beautiful sunny San Diego, University Heights. Yeah.